All right, all right, all right. This is it. This is the moment that Toria and I have been waiting for a very, very, very long time. So I'm just waiting to see her pop up in the green room. So you may see me checking my phone from time to time just to make sure she's not having any technical difficulties. While we're getting this live popped off. But listen, oh my goodness. All right, hold on. Let me just check my DMs, make sure. Okay, we're good. All right, listen. So, okay. Okay. She just shot me a text. So listen, while I'm handling this, make sure to say hello in the comment and share this live. Okay. Okay. All right. So listen, I'm just going to share a little bit about when Toria and I met and tell you the backstory behind this interview with us getting together. And then we're going to get right into the interview. So back in 2014, I'm almost positive. Yes, this was 2014. Toria ended up at one of my lace wig mastery training seminars. This was when it was a 2-day event. And I remembered her name because she had to cancel or reschedule the event a couple times. Hold on one second, guys. She had to reschedule the event a couple times and she ended up not being able to come. The beauty in that is that had she showed up any earlier than that, then she and I wouldn't have had the opportunity to work together because I had not even launched a mentorship program during that time. So by the time, hey everybody, hey y'all. So by the time Toria ended up attending the live event, I had just launched my mentorship program. This was in the very beginning when it was like a one-on-one type of thing. When it was in the very beginning, and she and I then began working together. And I'll never forget when she first walked in the room, I gave her a big old hug because I remember what her struggle was like getting there. And I think I have a video of that somewhere. I couldn't find it before this live because y'all just don't know what I have been, how busy I have been. I'm just going to say this month. So half of my time is spent in California and the other half of the time is spent here. Well, starting tomorrow, I'm going to spill some tea. I hadn't planned on doing this, but I'm going to go ahead and spill some tea. Then I'm going to get back to my story. So starting tomorrow, I am finally filming Lace Wig University. I finally have finalized the whole structure of what's going to be inside the mentorship program portion of it. Lace Wig University is going to be all brand new. It's going to be amazing. So finally, we start filming for that tomorrow morning. The thing that I've done different this time that I haven't done in the past is it took us about 1.5 to 2 months to film. I'm flying people out to help with the ventilating portion so that we can speed that up and get done very quickly so we can get this out because so many people are asking for it. So many people are asking for the sewing machine stuff. They're asking for all of the new content and stuff like that. So it's happening tomorrow. It's going down. Make sure you are tuned into my all of my social media because you'll see all of the behind the scenes and all of that stuff there. So so incredibly excited about that. And then hopefully here within the next coming couple of weeks, I can release the date for Ezra. All right. So we have all of that. Like I've been working behind the scenes on all of that on top of. Okay. So today I drove back to Vegas from California after having driven to California on Monday. Now I'm back here in Vegas. We start filming tomorrow. The first hired ventilator comes in tomorrow. And then Monday and Tuesday, I have $1 Million Stylist Live, which if you don't have a ticket to that, listen, you need to get your ticket to $1 Million Stylist Live. I'll share links and all of that at the end. And then we still have the anniversary sale going on, while at the same time filming for Lace Wig University. This is going to be an interesting couple of weeks, but I'm so excited and I'm so incredibly happy to do it. Okay, so back to my story with Toria. So Toria walks in the room. I give her a big old hug. We go through these 2 days of training together, and then she ends up joining my mentorship program, which was a one-on-one mentorship program where we worked together. I worked with her on her business, and I always would just remember Toria was always prepared. When you work one-on-one with people, you have different types of people. Your people who come unprepared, your people who come thoroughly prepared, and then the people who are just waiting for you to tell them what to do next. Toria was thoroughly prepared. She always did her homework, and even if she didn't, she always was ready for the next thing, or prepared, or had something. She utilized her time wisely. But the thing that separated, that I always noticed about Toria, that separated her from everybody, well, not everybody else, because I had some great students that were implementers just like Toria. But the thing that separates the people who implement from the people who just learn something and then do nothing with it is the fact that they implement. They don't just take what they learn and do nothing with it. They take what they learn and they use it. And so that's what she has done this entire time. And I will tell you this, if you're not on her email list, you need to get on her email list. I am one of those marketers who stresses the importance of utilizing your email list. I still believe in email marketing. I'm old school in that, right? And Toria has the best. Her emails are amazing. That's right, Sylvia. How are you? Toria's emails are amazing. I'm just seeing everything that, and then of course more. I'm seeing everything that we went through over the years come to fruition for her, and then even more. And I'm loving, I absolutely love what I'm seeing. So I think it was last year sometime, this was before she had the baby, I reached out to her. I said, hey, we have to get together and do a live. And she shared with me that she was with child. I said, well, how about we wait on that? I want you to focus on the baby first, and then we'll get on the live whenever. And so I think earlier this year we were supposed to get together, but then I had COVID, and so it didn't happen then. And then finally, I was home and I was recovering, and I'm playing catch up because listen, if you're an entrepreneur, let me just check and make sure everything is good with her. If you're an entrepreneur and you take a month off, you're going to have some sort of backlog, no matter who you are. Okay, hold on, guys. I'm going to have to send her the link again. No matter who you are, you're going to have some sort of a backlog for catching up. And so that's exactly what happened. I had a backlog. I'm still catching up a little bit, but I'm almost totally, I don't think you're ever caught up as an entrepreneur. But so we got through all of that, and we finally got through almost getting totally caught up. And I was going through all of my emails. I believe in zeroing out your email every single day as much as humanly possible. So I'm going through my email, and I come across this email with the subject line that says, I think it says she helped me make over $50,000 with wigs. And that even piqued my interest. I was like, that's like, sounds like a subject line I would write. This is good. I want to see what this is. So I didn't even realize it was from Toria, or I didn't even realize she was even talking about me. So I read that email, and it reminded me, I just took a trip back down memory lane and reminded me of the first time we met and the first time that we started working together and the growth that I saw in Toria. Because I always say that as a teacher, as a mentor, you should be able to see the things in people that they don't see in themselves and help pull that out. And so that was one of the things that I was thinking about as I was reading this email. And I reached out and I said, look, it's time. We got to get together. And so finally, through her travels and my travels and us moving and right after COVID, we just did a whole move, and it all came short notice. Within, I think, 8 days, we had set up shop, satellite location out in California, and we were in between both places. So to make a long story short, it all worked out, and we set a date, and here we are. And now, now we're having Toria is trying to get on here. So it's like, oh my gosh, this interview must be powerful, because I mean, look at what we've tried to do to get on here, and we're still having some technical issues, but it is all good. So let me just say hello to everybody over in the comments while I'm waiting. Sandra Brooks, girl, you were here early. You were here. There she is. I just saw a flicker. Hey, Sandra. Hey, Rose Rudolph. Hello, Zan. Agape's Hair Restoration. Kishana. Aisha. What's up, Aisha? Lynn King. Pearl. Tawana Artist. Tyshell. Felicia. Frida. Tatiana. Deidre. Cassandra. Everybody. Hello. Hey, Nancy. I just saw you pop in. Let's get into this interview. I am so excited to finally be here with Toria. Toria!
I made it. Oh my God, that was rough.
Was it giving you issues trying to get on?
Yeah, I downloaded Chrome like 3 times and it just didn't work. So I actually just switched over to my phone and it worked just like that.
Boom. Got a lot of cell phones.
I know better. I knew I should have tested all of this out, but that's the one thing I missed, and that's the one thing that got me caught up. And here I am 12 minutes late.
It is okay. I just, I love to talk. So I just talked us through that 12 minutes.
I figured.
So I've already introduced you to everybody, but I think most people on here already know who you are. And before me and you even got on here, we haven't talked like this in a couple of years. And so this is going to be a candid, just straightforward interview. I'm just really, really, really excited about your journey and about where you started and where you're going. So I think we should just start there. Like, what piqued your interest in wigs? Like, how in the world? Because it's like you came in for one thing, but you're leaving, and I won't even say leaving, but you're leaving with this whole other thing that you're birthing, and it's beautiful to me.
Right. It's crazy because this goes all the way back to 2014 for you and I. So my journey began with me finding you some kind of way. I don't even remember, but I ended up attending one of your live events back in Charleston when you were in Charleston, South Carolina for wig making. And I wanted to learn for myself because I have my own personal hair loss. And then I wanted to also learn from my mom. So I finally made it to an event because, there were some struggles with that. And I did learn. And on that second day, I was sitting there and I just seen like how so many other people were interested in making a business out of it. And I was like, oh my God, is that something I can really do? And so I had all of these questions, all of this excitement and different emotions. And I was like, okay, I know nothing about business, even though I have a degree in business management, but just doing something like that, it seems so foreign to me. And on the second day, you offered your mentorship. And I was like, I looked at the price because like I said, I was new to business and I was like, oh my God, can I pull that off? And it was something that I absolutely wanted to do. So I made a way.
That's beautiful. And I was sharing with everybody earlier that had you attended the ones earlier, we wouldn't have worked together because I didn't even have anything like that. I hadn't even created it until people kept asking, hey, how can I work with you further after this? And so I just created something, had no clue what I was doing and how to create it or anything like that. And I just created something, and we were able to work together. So that was really like really amazing to me. So like, what was it like going through your process? Because I saw you grow so much.
Oh my God, did I?
Wow, yes.
So the mentorship took me, it helped me do a lot. I can say I accomplished so much. But then it got to the point where, honestly, things that I was expecting to happen and I was seeing happening for other people, I was like, why is this not happening for me? So I just kept investing, and it got to the point where I realized I kept telling myself, well, I need to do this. I need advisory. I need to, invest in more mentorship with Marquetta, do this, and then I'll be ready. And I kept making excuses saying, I need this, and then I'll be ready. So I had to have that conversation with myself, like, why isn't this working? And when I looked at everything, how you structured everything and you laid it out, let's just say, for example, you can just say, Toria, you need to do this, this, and this. You can give me a list of 10 different things to do. And I would go through and pick, and I'll be like, okay, I'll do that. No way I'm doing that. Oh, no, I'm definitely not doing that. And then at the end of the day, I would just be like, well, you only did 2 things that she told you to do, and you're expecting results. So I just had to take a step back and just figure it out. I had to do a lot of praying.
Yeah.
Truth was, I was scared. I was really scared. And that was holding me back.
Yeah, so many people are. And the thing is, and I think even at one point, I don't remember if it was you that I had this conversation with, but it was somebody, it may have been you, that I said, you just gotta do, you're gonna have to do it. You don't need anything else. You got the blueprint. Don't join anything else right now. Just do the thing. Listen, that fear will stifle you.
Right. And that's what you told me. You just kept telling me, you told me, and it stuck in my head, and it finally started to resonate. So you were like, Toria, get out of your own way. And I remember I did a whole little video about that. And I just realized I had to tell myself, if you want things to happen, you got to overcome the fear. However you can do it, you have to overcome it. So even to this day, when I'm nervous about doing anything, if something's holding me back, because there's times where it's actually just not the time. You want to do stuff and it's not the time. But I ask myself that one question: why aren't you doing it? And if the answer is I'm scared, then I push myself even harder. But I'm to the point where I don't even have to ask that question anymore, because I know it's just okay, I need to challenge myself and do these things, because every time I've done that, I've gotten insane results. Every time.
Yeah, I love that. So I'm sure there are people who are watching, even the ones that haven't commented, that might be stuck in that fear type situation, in that fear feeling of, I need this new thing, or I need that new thing, or I gotta have this and I need to do that. What advice would you give them to help them overcome that feeling of fear and not being able to move forward?
The best advice I can give is that you will have to do like I did. First, invest in yourself, and you have to find a mentor that you can relate to. You have to find a mentor that you can trust, because that's the person that's going to help you come out of your shell and just move past the hurdles, so that you can open up the floodgates, and just whatever it is that you have to offer that people need, you'll be able to provide it.
Yeah, I love that. And another thing that I love about you, Toria, is that you walk to the beat of your own drum. You're not worried about what everybody else is doing. You're not worried about what this person does or what that person does. You created the first and only ventilating challenge. You've done all of these things and came up with all of these amazing things. And excuse me, you just own it and you just walk in it. And I've always admired that about you, because what a lot of people don't realize is that it takes somebody having that mental toughness and attitude to say, you know what, I don't care what those people are doing over there or what anybody else is doing over there. I'm just going to do what I do. I'm going to do what Toria does. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do it well, and it's going to be all good. What was the thing that gave you that confidence to just do that? Because to me, that was amazing.
It was constantly like just listening to you, even, you know, when I had to end just my time in, like, because I did mentorship and then I did advisory with you. So
Mhm.
even after ending my time, I was still listening to you and constantly like just, I don't know really how to explain it. Like it would just be things that you would say and it would just totally move me. Oh, there is something. So like a really big thing for me, I noticed, is that when I continue to attend your live events,
Mhm.
I would just get like this confidence out of nowhere, like, oh my God, like I'm about to do this, I'm about to do that, to the point where even like I would go back to my room on breaks and just do stuff like go live, do live videos and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So for me, it makes a difference just being like having a community of people that understand what you're trying to do and just uplifting and motivating each other. So there's like a group of women that we've done that and we've been that for each other, and that makes all the difference in the world, because you have to surround yourself with people who are doing what you want to do.
Wow, that's amazing. That's great advice too, and making sure that your circle is filled with positivity and people who are going to empower each other. Because I don't know about you, but I can't deal. I'm at an age and a point in my life where I'm not dealing with drama. I can't, like, I'm not built for that. I don't I can't I can't, especially not in business. And so
Right.
having that, yeah, what you said is golden, because you got to have that support system and those people around you who believe in what you believe in terms of like work ethic and all of that stuff. So y'all can push each other forward. You don't want to be dragging nobody.
Exactly.
Or having that negative person in your ear or whatever it is. So that's so important. I love that you've always done that. And I'll never forget, there's been a couple times you and I had a consulting call once, and
Yeah.
I think one of the times I talked to you, and I don't remember which time this was, you just blew my mind with your customization method, with the way you, that's why I called you back and I said, hey, I want you to come in and I want you to teach. And you know what's crazy about that, Toria, is
Mhm.
a lot of people think that that's crazy to have to bring people back or to let people come in and teach or whatever it is. I don't think that's crazy at all. I think it's, first of all, if I couldn't teach that, because you were the one that came to me with it. That would have been stealing, number one. But number two, I also think that it's important that if somebody has a platform, like, I mean, I have a nice sized platform.
Yeah.
Why can't I share the love? Why can't I want people, I've always wanted people to see you how I saw you. And I think that finally, after you got out of your own way, after you got out of your own way and you started walking in who Toria was, people finally started to see the beauty in the entrepreneur and the person of Toria and the grown woman of Toria. I just think, man, that's amazing to me.
And that's another thing, because there were times where I absolutely had like drained the bank account just trying to, you know, get business at a point where everything is like smooth sailing.
Yeah.
So the times that I was like, even with that call, that advisory call, I was like, I have to consult with Marquetta. And it had been a while.
Yeah.
And just the funny thing about that, when we invest in ourselves and just having a mentor like you that I can trust, just seeing how everything came around full circle, because like just it's crazy how like you were put in my path at the right time. And by me investing in you to lead me and guide me on the right path with starting a business, that's how it came around to where I think it was back in like 2017. I was doing a webinar. I was getting everything together. And so, you know, people love numbers. Like they want to know, like, that's cool, but how much money you making doing this?
Listen.
And so when I pulled up the reports and I was looking at what I made, and then I was like, I went more in depth, like, okay, where did these clients come from? I can honestly say, so it started back, I think like 2017, when I pulled the numbers and I did that webinar. I was at $25,000 off of clients that you had recommended to me that kept coming back. And a big part of that was business to business. So I was providing services for another business where this client was sending all of her clients to me for their custom wigs for hair loss, because she was treating them for hair loss and she wanted them in wigs. And so I was providing all of the custom wigs for that client. And then there were others that you sent me to, like Jess would just refer me out or whatever. And they would contact me and they would say, well, you know, Marquetta, Jessica said, you know, that you make custom wigs, and it would just take off from there. So a lot of that was the custom wig services, but also just by you doing like different things, by having me like interview on the podcast before. I've done that twice with you, and you would just mention my name on social media. When I started doing courses, I got a lot of signups and students from that. So when I look back, and I was doing another workshop, well, a webinar earlier this year, and I was like, I need to do the numbers again. And I was like, I know I'm well over $50,000 in off of referrals and just doing different things with you as far as the money that I made, you know, just you putting my name out there. But I was like, okay, let's just keep it safe because I got receipts. I know it's $50,000, so I'll just go with that. But I'm telling you, I know it's well over $50,000 between just the referrals for the custom wigs and just getting students to sign up for my courses, the mentorships that I've done, just everything. So.
Oh my goodness, Toria, that's incredible. It's incredible. Look, Herminia said, I'm one.
Hey girl.
Hey girl. Man, I'm telling you, let me just highlight some of these comments over here. Jason says, yes. And then the Toria Demps hairline on that factory piece. Aisha says, yes, that ventilating challenge was so on point. I'm telling you.
Hey,
I know, right? When I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, this is brilliant. That is genius. This genius, the ideas and the concepts. And I'm going to tell you, my favorite one was the edges.
Oh, yeah.
It was the edges, Toria. I had somebody on TikTok reach out to me and ask me, and I didn't know if you were still taking clients, but I told her I'd get back to her. I wasn't sure. But I know we're going to talk about that tonight. So
okay.
You are making a transition. And I think this is just so amazing because both of us, if y'all don't know, both of us come from a military background. Yeah. I was active duty Air Force. Toria, you were Navy, right?
Yep.
So we have the military thing in common. We're both veterans. But you have a special place in your heart for military wives.
Right.
I love it. So tell me what, first of all, I gotta know, because I don't know any of this that I'm about to ask you. So what prompted you? I'm going to tell you this. I haven't shared this with you. Oh, I got goosebumps. Thank you, Holy Spirit. The last time you attended the live event out here in Vegas, there was a shift that happened for you at that event that I saw, that I never said anything about. It's probably written in my journal somewhere, but I saw a shift. I said, Toria's not going to do these wigs for forever. She's about to transition and do some business stuff. But I didn't know when that was happening, or I wasn't even released to say anything. It was just something that I sensed in my spirit. But I just felt that because I see your passion for it. And the amazing thing about what you've done and been able to do is what we didn't talk about, Toria, is how much you've moved in the process of you making this money and you building this business, because y'all moved a lot.
Right. Yes, we did do that. So okay. I had this vision back in January of 2017, and things just started to happen. And it was like, oh my God. So I knew eventually, as a military spouse, my husband and I, we've been married for 18 years.
That's too.
I know. And that's one thing I was on a call the other day. We were doing a group call, and I was like, I had MTS, Me Too syndrome. When I first met you, it was like that connection, because one, you mentioned something about working on a farm.
Yep, I work on my granddaddy's farm.
And I'm a country girl. Like, I'm from like a very small town, town, but somebody just with big dreams that is actually happening, and it's crazy.
Yep.
So I want to represent that very well.
Yes.
Another thing, the fact that you had experience, you were prior military, that connected me to you. And then just to see the amazing things that you're doing as a woman, a Black woman, I was like, wow, if she can do this, like what's holding me back? And then just hearing your story, because my husband and I met in the Navy. We were new to the Navy, fresh out of boot camp. So we met in January of 2002, and then we were married in January of 2003. And here we are, still going strong. And I think I remember you saying you and Ricky got married a year after meeting too.
Yeah, we got married in 2003. We dated for 8 months.
See, okay.
And my friends were like, "Girl, you crazy."
Yeah.
I was like, "No, when you know, you know."
Yeah, and that was another thing that just made me like relate to you even more. So I don't know why I felt the need to say all of that, but going back to 2017 is so crazy, because January, I just had all of these ideas to the point where I started writing out chapters for a book on how to help military spouses build an online business. Now, the crazy thing is, when God gives you a vision and you're ready to like do it, but he's telling you, he's just showing you a little bit, but he wants you to pull back and sit still. And that was so hard for me, because I was like, when, like what, like it's a lot. I'm already trying to like figure this out, and I'm doing new things, and it's taking off with wig making, the courses, mentorship. When? And so just so much had to happen. Just to the point where I would say, once we moved here back in November of 2019, and I ended up, October 2019, and then a couple of weeks later, I found out I was pregnant. So just going through that whole transition of like, how am I going to manage a business and I'm pregnant? Now, this is something my husband and I, we did want, because I wanted to try for a boy. I wanted a boy so bad. But we just never feel like we're ready. And so God put that on our plate. And then it got to the point where I just went through so many different problems, like with my health during the pregnancy. It was just, I'm gonna be honest. It got to the point where I was just like, I'm done with God, because I found out I was pregnant with twins, to go to another appointment a few weeks later and be told that one didn't make it. And that's when my husband and I, we had never known anything about vanishing twin syndrome. So we went through that, and I was just on a war path with God. I was like, I'm done, because I couldn't understand. I was like, why would God show me that and then take it away? So I had this whole struggle like the entire pregnancy. And I was just at a point where like, I know I need God in order to move in the right direction. And I just felt so lost, because I couldn't make sense of that happening at that time, when everything seemed to have been going good. And I just like, everything was just moving in the right direction. And that just set me way back. So over the course of like the entire pregnancy, just different things were happening. And then of course, after I had during the pregnancy, COVID happened.
Oh, yes.
So the plan was, hey, okay, I'm pregnant. When we have the baby, we'll just hire a nanny to come in because I'm not sending my baby to no daycare, nobody's daycare. So we wanted to hire a nanny because we did that before. And that's one thing I will say off of business. When business is going good, like there's opportunities that it creates for you that you just sometimes you know ahead of it happening, you just can't see that. You would never think that these things can happen. So we had that, for Kiana, my older daughter, when we lived in Texas before moving here to Florida. And also we had a nanny for the dogs. Let me just put that out there.
I like that.
When we took trips, the nanny would come to our house and stay in the guest room and watch our dogs. So that was going to be the plan for the new baby. But then COVID happened and it was like, there's no way, we can do this. So it was just this whole like transitioning phase to where I didn't have a relationship with God. I just felt so stuck. I felt just so out of touch. I felt like I didn't have direction anymore. And these wig orders were still coming in. Let me just be clear on that. But I also started to I've always had carpal tunnel with my hands. And that was since the military. And I noticed, I think it's a thing that when you're pregnant, like, just how your joints are and stuff, you feel stuff more. And so it was just back breaking and so tiring. And my hands would just cramp up while I was trying to do these wig orders because I felt like I was getting more wig orders. And I kind of contribute that to, I felt like more people were wanting to show up online. And so they wanted to like have So I just found myself at that point, I just felt like I'm losing my passion for this. And it wasn't that I didn't want to continue to help the women that I was helping because I would still get like those messages, like clients in tears when they got their wigs, like, oh my God, you don't understand like what this did for me. Wow. But I would get to the point where I just felt so out of touch because I already set my business up to be PCS proof so that when we moved, like my income didn't stop. So I wasn't having that interaction, like physical face-to-face interaction with clients. I wasn't having that. So, because everything was done solely online. We would do like live Zoom consultations and everything, do it that way. So then with COVID, just not being able to go out, like all of that just took a toll on me. Yeah. So it was just everything collectively at that point. And I just felt like this is it. And I had said this was it like so many times before, but I was really feeling like this is it. But it took me a whole year after that still to phase out of it because the times that I wanted to pull away from it, I felt like I was abandoning my clients and my clients. And that was hard for me. That was really hard for me. I mean, it was to the point where I was trying to refer out and some clients it worked, but then there were like those older clients that would just be like, no.
They were like, no.
To the point where I would even try to prep, like when I referred out, I would just like talk to the wig makers and say, hey, this is what you can expect. She's older. This is what you're getting. So to try and make that easy, but it just wasn't working. So it just got to the point where this year, like, I don't know, God just showed up because I started back praying because like I said, when I lose my way, I know that's what I'm missing. I have to have that spiritual connection. So I started back praying and it was just things that were happening. And at the right time, God put it on my heart, like, hey, send this email out that this is what it's going to be. And so leading up to that, I felt horrible. Like I said, like abandoning. Yes, because when you're leading someone on a path and you see you're getting like comments and messages saying like, oh my God, you helped me so much, to just stop that or put an end to that, it makes you feel like you're abandoning them. Like, so, but surprisingly, how I structured the email, a lot of people responded that they were so happy for me and they were like just ready to see what I had in store, and they were willing to continue on the journey, even though I put it out there that going forward, my passion right now is to focus on helping military spouses build their online business. And I feel like I'm talking too much, so let me
No. You look, I just highlighted this comment. This story has blessed my soul.
Wow.
Man, Toria, that's such a powerful testimony. That's so powerful because it's so real, and it comes from a real place. Because I don't know if you shared that with anybody, but nobody probably knew you were even going through that. I remember you privately shared that with me. And I was praying for y'all through that entire process, because I can only imagine what that could have been like. But I didn't know that I didn't know that you had that I'm done with God type of mentality. But I think that it all played into what you're about to walk into now. I think it was just part of your testimony. And when you were talking earlier about how well everything was going and you were building it, it's so beautiful, because I just preached a word on this like a couple weeks ago about not being I forget the title, but when you're not where you think you should be.
Yeah, I saw that.
And a lot of times it's because we don't want to be processed. We don't want to go through the process. But that's what that was for you. The way you structured it, the way you were successful at it, and everything that you went through prepared you for this next season. You've already been equipped. And so now you can just walk that thing out and bless the lives of these military wives, and take this part of your business so far that you probably could have never imagined what God is about to do in your life. I'm telling you,
you're right. And
I see it so clearly.
And I feel it too. I mean, I don't, try and think about it as much, because I'm to the point now, like I was so stressed out building that first business, just trying to get to a certain point where it's like, okay, I invested all of this money and all of this time. Now I need to see some money flowing in.
Yeah.
So I was so stressed out. And I remember you used to always tell me, don't worry about the money will come.
And it sounds so like, it's like, really? How you gonna say that? Why would you? But it sounds so weird to say something like that. But you can probably attest to this. When you focus on the money, it's harder, because you try to do it on your own, and you're trying, and you're like, let me try this, or let me try this, and God is just standing back like, I'll just wait for you to be done so you can move and I can do my thing. And that's oftentimes how it works. And that is so true. When you stop focusing on it and focus on the people and the processes, and making sure that you're putting everything in place to make it easier for your audience or whatever it is you're building, the money will come, and it'll come easy. But when you try, it's very difficult.
Yeah, so I learned that, like, I was so stressed out the first time around that now I got it. Like, I am actually having fun with this transition of working with military spouses. So it's like that stress is just not there, because I know the money will come. The money is already coming. And I know it'll only get better. So my focus is, I just want so bad to reach as many military spouses as possible, because there's such a struggle when it comes to just having to constantly move around and support your service member. We get put on the back burner. And that's where I had that, where I said, create your own spotlight. Because I often tell my husband, well, I was telling him now that he is retiring.
Wow. That's amazing.
So I will often tell him, like, I just feel like it's your world and I live in it. Like, I'm walking in your shadow. And it really bothered him, to see me going through that, because there's been times where in the beginning of our marriage, when I wasn't thinking about business, I was thinking about like just the mediocre, like setup, like anybody else, go to college, get a degree and get a good job. But when you're constantly moving around, and then it may take you like a year to get settled in. And then when you start getting interviews and they just hit you with the questions like, those funny questions where they're trying to figure out like, how long are you here for?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it really hurt to have to go through just feeling like you're overqualified for a job, but you didn't get it because you're a military spouse. And yeah, that's discrimination. They're not going to tell you didn't
right,
get it.
exactly.
But understandably, like businesses want to invest in somebody to work for them where they're going to get, time out of that investment. So I'm not saying that, okay, I won't go down that road, but so this is just some of the things that I went through early on. And it was just like, I'm sitting on a whole degree and I know like if somebody would just give me the chance. And then it would be those times where I would get a good job and, I would sit there and sacrifice other things. Remember I went through it when I first came to you. It was like, oh my God, I landed this job. I'm working for the federal government.
Yes, I do remember that.
Look, nobody couldn't tell me nothing. I work for the federal government. Like I'm doing something. And I'm just being honest, because the struggle like that I had before I got that job, it just made me feel like really proud. But to the point where we started sacrificing like our family being together in order for me to stay at that duty station and to work that job and move up every year, making more money. Like I was getting a raise every year until I maxed out. And so that's when my husband took those 1-year orders unaccompanied, because I was like, nah, I'm doing my thing now. Like, let's do this. You go there for a year, we'll stay here. And I'll continue to work because, I'm getting raises every year. And so that's when I guess around that time it was coming to an end, because I attended that first event with you. And lo and behold, like that, not even a full year after is when I walked away from that job. God was saying, walk away. Because at that point, my husband had already did a year away. And then he came back and he was stationed in San Diego. And so we were still 3 hours away. And, he would try and make that drive on the weekends. And it just wasn't working out because he gets sleepy when he drives. And so it was very stressful. And it just got to the point where I was very confident. It was very clear to me, God was saying, walk away. So I walked away and moved to San Diego. And it was like, okay, I'm full speed ahead with this business thing. And it was still, a lot of struggles and challenges. And I feel like I had to go through that in order. God was positioning me to understand just the things that people would go through who I would come into contact with later on and mentor. Because it's kind of like, how am I going to mentor somebody when they're telling me this is the problem I have and I haven't even experienced that myself? It's hard to talk someone out of feeling a certain way or guide them in the right direction if you haven't experienced it.
Say that again. 52
all
times.
Struggles and challenges were for a reason. And now I'm to the point where I am so grateful, because when I'm talking to people, like I sit back and I'm just like, man, I know what I'm talking about.
Because you lived it. That's what Toria, you just said a mouthful. I tell people, I sit back and watch, right? You sit back and you watch things and let's just say it's somebody that's starting a new thing or doing a new thing. And they're seeing the monetary gain because they see this person with this influence or these people who they feel like make a lot of money doing this thing. So they're like, let me do that too. And then they go do it, but they fail to realize that there were 72 steps that came before that that allow that person to be able to do it and to be able to answer the questions and to be able to have the influence and to be able to have all of those things. They're just trying to do it because they're trying to top this person, or they think that whatever they do is better, and they might be more skilled. But understand this, you got to stay in your own lane and figure out those 72 steps that it takes to get to that point. Because you can't just come in, as I've said this so many times, you can't just come in with a machete or a machine gun and try to just chop everybody down, and then just going to stand there like this, like you're the only one left standing, because it just doesn't work like that. Yeah. And you gotta have the experience, because just like you said, I'm so glad you said it. Just like you said, you have to be able to understand the challenges that comes with whatever it is you're doing. If you can't understand the challenges, then you're not ready. You're not ready to teach it.
Right. Yeah.
That's a mouthful right there. So what does that look like? Where are you? Have you fully made the transition yet? What's happening now?
Yeah, so I've already started mentoring a few clients, and one is out of country. There's another one, I think, out in California. It's just everything is moving. It's crazy. So I'm doing a lot of different things just to put myself out there, and just because you can't expect for people to just know you're here. Like, you got to be like, hey, I'm here. So I'm doing a lot of stuff like that, and it's in the beginning stages of just finding those people who can benefit from what I have to offer.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah. Yes, you are so right. Nobody's just gonna stumble upon. You got to put yourself out there. I love that. So is this the website that people can go to if they want to? Hold on, wait.
Hey, what do you have?
Before,
I'm still working with some stuff.
No, wait. Is your wig stuff still available?
Okay, so the thing with that, I still like the courses are still available, because I haven't felt it to where it's like, okay, just take them down. So I'm slowly trying to phase out of that. So those courses are still available, but my goal is to get to the point where when it comes to wig making, I want to lead everybody to you. And
I wasn't even expecting that, Toria.
And I don't know if you remember this, but it was at one point, I don't know what it was, if I was still in the advisory or something, but I remember we were in Texas, and I had sent you, I think I was doing your email, the advisory through email for 30 days.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember sending you an email, and I was saying that I just feel so wrong, because you're such a major expert to where when I get clients, I feel like I should be referring them to you. And
yes, I do remember that.
You and Ricky had recorded a video, because y'all said y'all were up late that night, and you recorded a video and you sent it to me, and you were just saying how I can touch people that you wouldn't be able to reach, or somebody may see you, and then just you may put my name out there, and they may feel a connection to me for whatever reason. So I have to move forward with it. And that's what I did. So I was like, okay, I'll take Marquetta's leftovers.
No, Toria, there wasn't no leftovers.
I know. I was just trying to make a joke of it. But so I've always kind of still felt like that, because you teach a lot. But I do know certain people, because even when we did the customize a wig in one day, when I flew out to Vegas and we filmed that, I had so many people reaching out to me on DMs and Messenger and everything, just saying, oh my God, you helped me so much. Listen. And that was off of them seeing the course under the Lace Wig Training System 2.0.
Listen, I'm telling you, that thing right there was a game changer, Toria. That shifted for a lot of people, because they only, when people think about lace wigs and making lace wigs, they just think about the super traditional, oh, I gotta take 70 hours to make a wig. But that's not come on now. And when you did it and when you shared on that video, I think you said you made 4 wigs in one day, which was a $2,000 day for you.
Yes, ma'am. And that was in December too. We had a good Christmas.
I think that shifted a lot of people's focus right there. They were like, hold up. So I said, I was just so happy to even have you come there and teach, because to me, it was a full circle moment. From the beginning, from that picture that I shared on my wherever I shared it on the blog, to that first time we met each other, to you coming back to teach. Wow, that is amazing to me. Like that full circle moment, your drive and your focus and your passion for whatever you do. I don't even think it's just wigs. I think that whatever you set out to do, Toria is going to be passionate about that thing until it's time for her to move on. And I love that about you. And you're so amazing, Toria.
So yeah, that's what solidified it for me too, because even though I say, I refer to myself as a business coach, and I put emphasis on just creating online products, digital courses to get that financial freedom. Hint, I'm referencing the $1 million system, the roadmap.
Yes.
So even though I say that, but when I showed up and we filmed that, because I had a hard time in front of the camera.
Listen, you weren't the only instructor that had a hard time in front of the camera.
But once I got through it and I seen how it all came together, that gave me even more confidence to go back and start creating even more courses, because I was low key in it, oh, okay, I'm gonna do this 7-day ventilating challenge. But showing up how we did it, I was just oh my God, it's really not as hard as I thought it would be. And that's just something that I want to bring to people, because that brings a certain type of financial freedom that you cannot get when you're sitting there pregnant, back is hurting, hands are cramping up, and having to make wigs and physically do something to earn that money. When you create them courses, oh Lord, that's just woo.
Listen, I just sent out an email yesterday. The subject line of that email was how to make money in your sleep. And listen, people when they hear that, it's almost like, man, everybody says that. No. When I teach something, it's because I'm actually doing it. Right. And they have been doing it since DVDs back in the day. Because if you remember, I wasn't able to, I was active duty. So I couldn't really take clients, but I still wanted to be a part of the beauty industry. So how did I do that? I created symbiotic income streams, i.e., DVDs, and then I started doing seminars and the hair products and all of that stuff after. But we would literally wake up to sales.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That is just a feeling that I just anybody in business, I really want them to experience that, because man,
I'm telling you, it's an amazing feeling, because here it is. It's even more so than the money. And the reason why I sent that email is because that's what I'm teaching. Monday and Tuesday, I have my last ever $1 Million Stylist Live virtually.
Y'all better sign up.
I've been saying it. Listen, that event has changed so many lives, and it's been amazing. But even aside from the monetary aspect of it, I always say this: we all have a gift inside of us. Yeah. Sometimes we know what that is firsthand, and sometimes it takes, like you. I think it took wigs to get you to what your true purpose is, which is what you're doing now, which is amazing to me. And in order for us to share that gift with the world, there's different ways that we can connect with people. Online courses, books, webs, whatever it is, social media, speaking, whatever that thing is. And you are doing the people a disservice if you don't have a way for them to experience your gift. Because here's the thing that a lot of people forget. Their destiny might be attached to you. You might be the catalyst for their destiny. So when you say, no, I don't want to do that, or somebody else is already doing that, but they're not you. And they're not doing it the way you do it. So you got to walk in your own truth and say, you know what? That may be the truth, but this is what I'm going to do because I have to own it. And what's for me is for me. You can't take from somebody else. If it's not for you, it's just not going to work out that way. It's not going to be the same. So that, that right there, Toria, that's a word right there.
I'm still learning from you. I am like you and Ricky used to say, I think you said it on the $1 Million Stylist System. You were like, steal our stuff. Just take it. Take it and make
that sounds like Ricky.
I was like, okay, you ain't got to tell me again. But
don't reinvent the wheel.
Right. It was times where I felt like, okay, let me just extend that courtesy, and I would let you know, like, hey, Marquetta, I'm thinking about doing this. Is that okay? Because you don't want to start like burning bridges and messing up relationships. But it clicked, like what you guys were saying when you said, steal our stuff, take it and make it your own. Yes. And that's what I've been doing. I have been following the roadmap. Like, it's times I would go back and look at some of the stuff that you put out, and I would be like, okay, that's a good idea. I can totally make this work for, what I'm launching. Wow. So I just wish people would just, like I said, find a mentor, somebody that you can relate to and you trust, and that's willing to like put you to the forefront, sometimes just like put you out there, and it just does like it's amazing for you and your business and what you're trying to do. So I really appreciate you for that. Like, let me tell you how it's been times where I would be sitting here with so many ideas, or it would be times that I'm just stuck, and my husband, he would be like, WWMD. I'm like, what is that? What would Mama do? He'd be like, no, what would Marquetta do?
I'm sitting here trying to figure out WWMD. I've never heard. That is hilarious.
Yes.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Man, I'm just so excited to see this next chapter in your life. This is, Toria, this is so incredible to me. It's so amazing. But here's the thing. I meant to mention this a few minutes ago, because we're talking about all these amazing things. And of course, there have been times where, where things have not been always so amazing, and that's okay. And there have been times, listen, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody might slip up and say something they shouldn't have said, or maybe you make a mistake in business. I don't want anybody watching this to think that because you made a mistake, you can't move forward. Own it.
Yeah.
Learn from it, grow from it, and move on. Don't be stuck in that mistake, because we're human.
Right.
We're human. Things are going to happen. It's just part of the learning phase. It's part of the equipping. But it's how you handle those mistakes and how you keep it moving that makes all the difference in the world. And growing from it, man. Just understanding that growth, that's a part of growth. That's a part of sharpening your sword or sharpening that axe. So, man, Toria, I so appreciate you so much for getting on this live.
I'm glad I was able to make it.
Me too. So I want you, before we go, to tell everybody where they can find you, if you got any whatever. I want you to plug yourself right now.
All right, I'm gonna take you up on that. So right now, what I'm trying to push and that I've been working on is the 5-day course creation challenge. So I'm gonna have that going from August the 2nd until August the 6th. That's going to be in a private Facebook group. To get the details and sign up for that, you can just go to my training academy. That's blossomingbutterfly.academy. But other than that, if it's, it's not course creation, but you're interested in just coming along for the ride about building a business online, you can, my Facebook it's in the works, but you can go to my Facebook, Toria Demps, and click on that link. It's a link to a Google form to be added to my email list.
Got it. What about Instagram or anything like that?
Yeah, Instagram, I'm at Toria Demps, and the same on Facebook. But like I said, we're transitioning, so just be patient and work with me.
Awesome, Toria, man. Again, thank you so much, and don't think just because you're not doing wigs anymore, I can't have you back on the show to inspire.
I think I'm coming back for something. I just don't know. I just feel like
yes,
it's going to be probably just donation wigs or something, because I still have hair that people cut off and donate it to me, and I'm just like, God, I know you didn't set this up for nothing. Like, so.
Okay, I have some serious tea that I'm gonna spill after, but I can't spill it here.
You always do this.
Ooh, I got some. I know when you can come back. I know when you can come back. It's gonna, when I spill this tea in real life, everybody is gonna go crazy.
Oh
go
my God! How long
crazy.
you gotta wait, Marquetta? How long?
No, I'm about to tell you after we get off this live.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna close the live, but you and I are gonna stay live so I can tell you this, because I think that this would be a great opportunity for you to come on. Oh, okay. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. But when I release this information, everybody is gonna go nuts, because I've never seen this done before, and we're gonna do it leading up to the launch of Lace Wig University. So
wow. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Yes. Me too. So guys, I hope y'all were just as blessed on this interview as I was. This was the first time Toria and I have chatted in over a year.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while. So it was beautiful catching up. Thank you so much for being so candid and sharing your story. And you're just an incredible person, and I cannot wait to see how far God takes you. I'm sure you'll be back. We'll be back to talk about something. Yeah. I'll find a topic.
Definitely. Yes. I'm always excited to do this.
Yes, me too. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We love you, and we'll talk to you soon. Toria, you just stay right there.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye.